Hello, in this Visual Basic tutorial I am going to show you functions. If you haven't done the sub video, so the video covering subs, the sub procedures, I recommend going and checking that out. Once you're done, feel free to come back here and we can do some functions. So functions are very similar to subs. The main difference is functions return a value whereas subs do not. So let me they have the same principle of by ref, by val, when you're passing in values, the way you pass in values is the same. The only difference is, so I'll use this add example and I'll create another one and I'll call it, so you need to use the keyword function and I'll call it add func, and I'll just copy this just to save some time. And I'll click enter, and at the end we need to do as integer. So this is going to be the return type, and we are going to do dim. You know what? I'll just copy this out, put it here. Okay, so with this method, we actually printed out to the console the result. You may not want that. You may want to assign it to some index in an array. You may want to pass it into another method. You may want to display it on the screen. You may want to, store it in a database. There's almost an endless, an endless variations of what you might do with the result of your function. I'll just call it add fun. I'll leave it at add fun. So to actually return the value, you just do the name of the function. So add fun. You assign it some value. So I'm going to say result. And now, if I was to, I'm just going to simply comment out these other lines. So if I was to just run that function, so if I do, it's called add fun, I need to pass in two values. So I'm going to say 5 and 6. So this should return a value of 11. I run it, nothing printed out. Why isn't it printed out? That's because this returns it merely to this location. If we were to, wrap this in a console.write line, like so, now it prints it out because this function gets called, passes in the value 5 and 6, and this just adds the two numbers together and then return the result, and that result gets returned here. So it's the equivalent, literally writing 11 there. And as your brain is already wondering, can you assign it to a variable? Yes, you can. So if I do dim, I'll just call it var1 equals as integer. We could do var1 equals add fun, and let's just do 6 and 7 this time. And if I do console.writeLine and I just do var1, it prints out 13. Now why that? That red line's gone now, that squiggly, terrifying red line. So that's it for functions. They're almost the same as sub procedures. The main difference is they return a value, whereas subs do not. So if you need something to return a value, this can be any data type. It doesn't have to match the data type of anything that's passed in. You don't even have to pass anything in. As an extra task, feel free to experiment, have these functions calling other functions. So this function could call this sub, or this sub could call this function. This function could call another function. Just go crazy. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.